No.
That's because I beat you.
You're like my cat.
Ramping. I guess just you two going here and we'll be on our way.
No.
Welcome everyone to committee meetings for Monday, July 11th. Start off with county services committee. We'll have some training going on, so we'll go easy tonight.
Some training going on, okay. Well, before we go to our two proposed action items, we have Kevin, and I'm going to butcher his name because I always do it. I apologize ahead of time. Kevini.
As close, sir. It's Keevan.
Kevin, okay. From, I'm probably going to butcher this too, the Hudson Valley National Center for Veterans Reintegration.
Spot on. You got it.
Whoa, what are the odds? So Kevin, if you could come up and talk to us.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I won't take up too much of your time. We've got some good news. We're moving forward with the vet program here in Greene County. And we just wanted to share that with you. So again, my name is Kevin Keating. I'm founder, executive director of Hudson Valley National Center for Integration. I know we met a few months back, bring the Dwyer program into Greene County, which we did successfully. And I just wanted to introduce you to your new program manager for Vet of Greene County. This is Don Vandermark, recently retired Army veteran, Sergeant First Class. He also started in the Navy, but we don't like to talk about that. After retired from the Army, he went back to school and got his degree in Human Services. And I'm very excited to have him here. I actually have known, I almost call him Gavin, Aaron for several years now. He actually participated in the last Vets on Water trip with us, and he's going to do this one again. Take it away, Aaron.
Thank you for having me. Like Kevin says, I'm Aaron Vandermark. I am a retired Army veteran, 20 years. I live in Saugerties. And excited to be the vet manager for Greene County. I love helping vets. I've been volunteering since I've been out home helping veterans. I'm a member of VFW, American Legion, and it makes me happy to help a vet. So I hope I serve Greene County and the veterans and impact the services for the veterans here. Can't wait to get started.
Thank you. We'll go forward to working on board.
Welcome aboard. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I understand that Michelle has got a report for us.
I do have a little presentation for you. Would you like me to do that now?
I would love it.
Okay. Just think.
Better. Thank you.
Okay, so this is just a little mid-year update on what we've done since the last time I was here in November. So just real quick, just want to brief over hours of operation. We're 8 to 4. We are closed daily for lunch from 12 to 1. And but we do actually see veterans and have people in the office during that time if anyone needs to. We also will see veterans outside of the normal duty hours at any time. Our transportation operates daily as needed. That includes weekends and holidays. Our management staff administrates those transportation issues 24/7. Our current veteran staff is myself as director, Tyler Lynch is the deputy director. Our administrative assistant position is in process. Albert Delani is a newer veteran service officer. He started in March, I believe. Charles Schreck, Tyrell Sherman, and Charles Sinatti are our veteran services drivers. Well, that's kind of small. So this is a comparative of our operational expenses. Just wanted to kind of show that from 2019 to 2021, our operational expenses went up about $20,000. Most of that actually was due to other personnel expenses. We had someone who had come off of personal private insurance and started using county insurance and now has gone back, so I would imagine that for 2022, right now we're running at about 45% of the total budget that was requested and adopted. So I think that we'll actually see an even keel total expenses for 2022. We may see increase due to the cost of fuel for the transportation. I did see that's running pretty high. But overall, we're at 45% right now and we're more than halfway through the year. Some of the events that we have attended or hosted since November, the 2021 Honor of Vet Veteran of the Year Award, the 2022 Honor of Vet Memorial Ceremony. We co-hosted 3 resource fairs with Senator Hinchy and Assemblyman Tague and various American Legions across the county. And we also attended 2 others. One was at the Cornell Hook and Ladder and one was at the VA. We assisted in Sons of the American Legion member Will Van Atkinson from Greenville in creating hygiene kits for veterans. I think there were 2,750 hygiene kits that we created and delivered to the VA for veterans in need that are inpatient or homeless or what have you. We kept some of them here. We distribute them at our resource fairs. We have some in the office in case anyone ever needs them. We attended 3 Veterans Day ceremonies, 2 military balls. One was the Marine Corps League Ball in Ashland. One was the Greenville Military Ball. 2 Pearl Harbor Day ceremonies. The Carroll Memorial Day Parade and Ceremony. The New York State District 46 Veteran of the Year, which was Michael Adrian from Carroll. We attended the Providers Open House Luncheon at Home Sweet Home on the Hudson and Catskill. 2 veterans breakfasts, one at the Catskill Elks and one at the Greenville American Legion, and 2 veterans dinners, one in Athens and one in Greenville. So this is mostly my attendance for meetings that I'm required or requested to attend. So American Legion Post meetings. As a veteran service officer, I have to be accredited by an agency, and the agency that most counties use in New York State is the American Legion. So in order to be accredited, I have to be an active member, which means I have to attend their post meetings. From the point that I made this, from November through last month, I attended 9 of 9. 8 of the American Legion Executive Committee meetings. I'm on their executive committee because I'm also the post service officer. 10 out of 10 American Legion County meetings. They only host 10 per year across the different posts in the county. 9 out of 9 department head meetings. 8 out of 9 county services meetings. I think I missed one in March when I was sick. The health services meeting, 1 of 1, and I was here just because we were on the agenda for part of the lease with Hudson Valley National Center for Veterans Reintegration. And 8 out of 9 senior advisory board meetings. Whether I had those, I might attend or Tyler might attend. So this is our 2020 to 2021 VA expenditures comparison. So this year, I was displeased. We did not see an increase in the federal expenditures. However, 2.9 million decrease was entirely in the medical care category. So if you can see that, these numbers, by the way, are in thousands. So the medical care category at the top is New York, what the expenditures were for all of New York State. And at the bottom in the green is for Greene County. There was a $40 million deficit, I guess, if you will, in those total expenditures for all of New York State, and a $2.9 million deficit for Greene County. Our overall deficit was just about 2.9 million. So the information that I was given by the VA is that due to COVID, due to transitions to telehealth, and different types of community-based care, the VA actually just didn't spend as much money for 2021 as they did in 2020. And it's a good thing. It's not because anyone is not getting care. As a matter of fact, the unique patients at the end, so we have 212,369 unique patients in all of New York State. That's up about 4,000 patients for all of New York State. Greene County was actually up 10 patients for all of Greene County. So we went from 1,022 to 1,032. So the number of patients using the VA has increased. The amount of money the VA is spending on VA healthcare has decreased. And that does account for basically the entire amount of money that we would have any control over. The other larger one is in insurance and indemnities. That would be a veteran who chose to pay for life insurance. If the veteran passes away, then it's paid out. If they don't, obviously they don't. So we have no control over that expenditure. But that was another like 30,000. But other than that, our compensation and pension numbers stayed pretty flat, and everything else mostly compares with what was going on across the state. So the annual report is due April 1st. The data and statistics that the VA puts out that I rely heavily on to create our report does not come out until the mid to end of June. So I spent several months trying to get information a different way. And one of the things that was sent to me by an analysis at the VA was a tableau, an 18-month tableau of benefits from October of 2020 to April of 2022. And according to the tableau, in that 18-month period, we had 10,932 veterans in Greene County collecting live compensation. So this is disability compensation for injuries or illnesses or residuals thereof that occurred during their military service. And another 497 collecting live pension. So that's an income-based pension that is for a veteran who is low income but totally disabled. So according to that, we have 11,429 veterans collecting these benefits in Greene County, over this 18-month period. So the VA estimates based on the census that we only have 3,200 veterans in Greene County. And I think this determines that we have a lot more than 3,200 veterans in Greene County. And I'm using this information to try to increase funding that we're receiving from the state, specifically for the Dwyer program, because based on that number, we should be receiving 187,000 a year, not 92.5. So I'm working on that. Did you have a question?
Just seems that's a big difference.
I agree. And that number came to me directly
Who
from
compiled the 11,429?
the 1093 plus the 497, because those are veterans. Everything else, the death, DIC, death indemnity compensation is dependents, and the survivor's pension would be survivors.
I mean, did New York State record this or?
No, the VA.
The VA themselves?
The VA themselves. The same ones who are using the census data to tell us we only have 3,200 veterans. So I'm working on this. I don't have answers yet. This actually all just came about within the past couple of months, but obviously that's a huge disparity, and it greatly affects our funding from New York State, because it's all based on the number of veterans that we have. So this is a little chart that just kind of gives you an idea of how much money a veteran who is collecting disability compensation actually gets. And there's two charts. The second one is the higher numbers. So the first one is from 30% to 60%. The small, not bolded numbers are the monthly amounts, and the bolded numbers are the annual totals. So at the very top, that says veterans alone. And then it goes on to explain with a spouse and a parent, because there could be a parent living in the home who's a dependent of the veteran, and with children and so on. So I'll go to the bottom right-hand corner on top of the blue, and that's for a 60% service-connected disabled veteran. That is $16,704.36, and that's actually with two dependents, or no spouse or children. That's with two parents. It's basically the same amount actually with the parents or the children. So it's with two dependents. And if you go here, so now we're going across the top, we have 70%, 80%, 90%, and 100%. At the very top line is the veteran alone, and you can see the annual total will be $39,984.72. That's for a 100% service-connected veteran with no dependents. That's what they're getting tax-free. That's what's coming into the county. So when we're looking at these compensation expenditures from the VA, this is where this money is coming from. And if we have, 10,000 plus veterans that are collecting at some rate between 10 and 100%, that actually would make a lot more sense when we're talking about nearly $12 million that in just cash expenditures that are coming in to the county, to the veteran.
Good question.
Sure.
If the veteran is, say, retired,
Yes.
they still draw their pension and a disability on top of that.
Okay, if a veteran is retired as of right now, and there are multiple bills in the works to change this, as of right now, if they're 50% service connected or higher, then yes, they can receive what they call concurrent receipt. If they're under 50%, they can take one or the other. It's considered, I don't understand how it's two separate budgets, but it's considered double dipping to collect your DOD, different department retirement and your VA disability comp if you're under 50%. So that, again, that's something that has actually only changed in 2013, where the veteran with the 50% or more was allowed to actually collect both. So this is, makes no sense. And there are so many more convoluted things that occur with retirement or retirement bonuses that are taken back if a veteran is, receives a disability compensation award. There are things that happen with veterans who are also receiving a railroad pension. So it really is not, it's not right, and it's something that needs to be fixed, but it's something that needs to be fixed at a congressional level. Anyone else have any questions?
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good billing, state billing.
Okay, we have two proposed action items. The first one is a little confusing. It does not replace Meals on Wheels, it augments it. And I've asked Ken if she'd like to say a few words about it.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to explain a little bit about Mom's Meals. Mom's Meals has been approaching us for several years now to see if they could do a contract with us. And up until this past year, we haven't had problems getting meal deliveries to our clients, but our volunteer database has gone down tremendously. And because of the MDD, which is the Major Disaster Declaration that New York State has still enforced on us, we still have to accept any senior that is home, that not homebound, but is afraid of leaving their home and going shopping or accessing food on their own. So if they just call the office and state that, we by law, by the MDD rule, we have to provide a home delivered meal to them. Unfortunately, because of this, as I've stated in the past, we've gone from 300 and some odd meals a day to almost 450 meals a day. And because of that, we've also had to put a waiting list together for several of our home delivered meal routes. AGRA right now has 2 home delivered meal routes, and right now they are both full. And we have people on waiting lists to get meals to. Our Lexington route is also full and have people on a waiting list. Our Greenville route number 2 is also full with people on a waiting list, and our Freehold route is also full. The reason why it's full is because the Department of Health mandates that when a meal gets delivered to the very last house on the route, it has to be a certain temperature. And once a month, our volunteers are given an extra temperature meal to check at the end of the route to make sure that we are still under the guidelines of the Department of Health. Unfortunately, if we add the extra people onto this route, that's not gonna happen. So Mom's Meals will ship meals to clients. They can do 5 meals at a time, 10 meals at a time, depending on how we set it up. We're not looking to eliminate the volunteers. What we wanted to do or suggest that we have to talk to them about it. If we can have the volunteer deliver 1 meal a week and have the other 4 mailed to clients on these routes that are difficult to get to or difficult to have volunteers on, then the nutrition value of it is still covered. We will have to reach out to the sheriff's office because one of the things that we do by delivering home delivered meals is meeting the one face to face to the client to make sure they're okay. By having Mom's Meals delivering the meals, that will be eliminated. So we will have to do the well check through the sheriff's office to make sure the clients are okay. And plus, our nutrition staff will also be calling the staff up, their clients up, I'm sorry. And we'll also have to make sure that the people that are on these routes have microwaves, which we have a grant for, which would cover if any of the seniors don't have a microwave and they need a microwave to heat up these meals. Because they're pretty much, they look like lean cuisines. And the price can anywhere be from $11 a meal to $20 a meal, depending on what we want to put in them. Which our average meal right now is about $16. So it'll eliminate our time of cooking it, will eliminate some staff time, and it'll eliminate the Ginsburg bill as well, which is on our next list. But it's just something that we're trying to do to try to guarantee that everybody that needs a meal will get a meal. I prefer the home delivered meal process myself, but unfortunately, we've lost about 200 volunteers and we have not been able to get them. One of our main problem routes is Lexington, which is up on the mountaintop. And right now, staff are doing it. We're taking turns. Tezra's up there this week. We're sending different staff members up because we cannot find, we're short-staffed, like I'm sure every other department is. We're looking for a full-time driver up there to deliver the meal and help in the kitchen. But we cannot find volunteers to do the meal routes. We're reaching out. We're doing everything that we possibly can. If you give us any ideas on how to get extra volunteers, that would be great. But this seems to be a good alternative. And the plus side of it is in the wintertime when the roads are bad and our volunteers aren't going to drive and we cancel the meals, Mom's Meals will still deliver because it's through Federal Express and it's through UPS and, whether rain or snow or sleet or whatever. The clients will still have the meals. They'll have them in the freezer as well. They're going to be delivered on a Monday for the whole week. So that's pretty much what Mom's Meals is. Does anyone have any questions regarding it? Yes.
What did the sheriff say when you said that they would have to start doing well checks? How's that gonna affect his budget?
It's the automatic call that's done at 11 o'clock every morning that it's already in process. It's just adding names
So
to
it's
it.
not physical, it's.
No,
It's not a black and white.
no, right.
Should you say the meals from to be?
The meals will run anywhere between $12 and $20, depending on what we're looking for. Whether it be ham or roast beef or meatloaf or whatever the case. It's a huge range. Plus, they added the postage as well.
The resolution says $6.99.
$6.99 is the base price of the cheapest meal, but $6.99 isn't it's not the whole menu. That's what Ed went back and forth with Mom's Meals trying to get all the negotiation down. They said for them to include every meal, it would be like 4 pages on the contract. So we just asked for the basic price for one meal, but it's not. If we want sirloin tips one day, it's not going to be $6.99. So unfortunately, that's the price. That's the average. So yes.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned because you hit on a couple points there, face to face is very important.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And I am also concerned about some of our seniors are not, they do not heat that meal up. They get it and they eat it. Right?
So home delivered.
How do we
yes.
know that our seniors, a number of them are going to be able to, heat it up in a microwave and eat it?
Well,
So that's my
Right, and
I
that's
think
where the
there's a
case
number of things
managers-
that have to fall.
The case managers will be doing
Different
assessments.
staff.
Yeah, but it seems like you're gonna be overwhelmed with trying to catch up with that. Right now, I mean, obviously you don't have the staff,
Right,
but right now it's a very successful
Case
program.
managers have about a caseload of 70 to 80, I believe is the number.
each of our case managers have.
I think this is a bigger discussion. I have concerns.
I agree with you, Harry, but my problem is it better than nothing?
Well,
right.
obviously it is better than nothing.
Because the routes will be canceled. If we don't have the volunteers and we don't have to do the route, it will be canceled. I mean, it's just.
Well, as long as you're assuring us that you have the staff, that Sean just said,
Right,
to check to make sure that a number of these people are actually heating their meal up in their microwave properly and eating,
correct.
right? Because a lot of the people that we serve, do not make their own food. They depend on your food every day.
Right, and a lot of them do freeze them. Our meals come sealed now. They come like
Yeah.
a lean cuisine. A lot of our clients don't eat them right away. They will put them into the freezer for another day if they go out for.
But there are a number of them that aren't capable of doing that and they
Well, we
eat it
would do
right
an
away.
assessment. The
Right.
clients that are not
That, as
capable.
long as you
of
can
doing it.
cover that, I'm
Yes, oh,
okay.
absolutely. I mean, if we have clients that can't lift the, and we also, one of the restrictions is the weight. I mean, if the client can't lift the box from the doorstep that they lift.
Yeah.
Into their house, we can't do that either. I mean, obviously, the assessment from the case managers will have to be a huge thing with this. And, the reason why we did the contract first, and we haven't even instituted this yet, we're talking to them in 2 weeks, I believe, on a Thursday. It takes so long to get the contract through the system. It's not like we're gonna flip a switch and start this tomorrow. That's not what we're gonna do. But we need to do something. For example, Thursday, we're closing the centers for a training. We're doing a volunteer training. This would be a nice way of, if they had received these meals, and we wouldn't have to worry about us sending out a holiday pack for a day before. And if anybody has ever seen one of our holiday packs, it's an insult. I'm sorry, but it's an insult. A holiday pack consists of a can of soup, a package of graham crackers, a package of hot cocoa mix, or a little sippy cup. I can't see where that's a nutritional thing, but by having a meal in a freezer, where if we call them up and say we're having a training and the centers are going to be closed, you're not going to receive a home delivered meal, use one of the ones in the freezer, at least they're going to have a nutritional meal that's approved by our registered dietitian. So, I mean, it's just an alternative to what we're doing now. If we had enough volunteers, we wouldn't even have to be going down this road. So we have the staff to do the cooking. We just don't have the people to get the cooked meal to the home. That's the problem. I mean, and Ruth is going nuts trying to find volunteers.
What's
I think
the
that's the
cost
answer.
difference?
We need a call to action campaign for volunteers. Basically.
I'm sorry?
I said we need a call to action campaign for volunteers.
We do, and I agree with 100%. I mean,
This should be temporary as far as I'm concerned.
We have-
This should be the standard way that we should be doing business.
I think needs to be a bigger discussion here before we go forward.
It's only a 5-month contract.
Right, it's a 5-month
I
contract.
I think
right,
it's,
a temporary
this is
basis.
just putting a Band-Aid on the problem, but the
Exactly.
Band-Aid will help for
Correct.
5 months.
right.
Then we have 5 months to try and, get the program.
And I think we should
running
reach
again.
out to the churches. I mean, that's the mission of the church, is to help the,
And we've done
More in
that.
the
We're
need.
doing that now.
I think that's all part of this call to action campaign, is to get
Right.
an awareness that certain towns need more volunteers.
And our administrative assistant, our receptionist is big with Facebook and TikTok and all these other things. We finally got our laptops back from IT, so she's gonna start creating a volunteer page where we can get more volunteers to encourage more people to sign up for volunteering. Our medical transportation is a former pastor. She's reached out to her church contacts, and we're gonna put ads into the weekly announcements in the church. We're doing everything we can. We really are. Ruth is losing a lot of them because they're aging out. We're reaching out to the schools to see if any students want to be part of the program. I mean, our youth advisory council are reaching out to different connections to try to get volunteers. We are getting volunteers, and unfortunately, we're losing more quicker than we are getting new ones in.
What's the cost? Is there a cost savings of going with the mom's meals? Or,
Now, the average cost, on my last spreadsheet, the average meal that cost us to make in-house Now, of course, that includes everything with overhead. It's $15 and change. That's what our average meal costs us to make in-house. That includes payroll, benefits, rent. The contracts state that the meals are $6.99, but that's a basic meal. A full meal would be anywhere between $12 and $20. So if we could still order the meals, that would be the same, so it would be a break even, but then we would free up some of the staff to make the phone calls to do the different things.
The problem that I know exists is that the people that are delivering the meals, I've talked to some of them, and they do not get enough money in gas money or per mileage.
Right.
So is that something that would, I mean, people have stopped delivering meals because they can't afford to do it themselves. They're not covering the cost. It costs them to drive around. So if you're not saving money with this and it's costing money, wouldn't it be to our advantage to up how much we're giving our
We already did.
volunteers?
Well, the IRS rate.
We went from 50 cents to 57.5 cents a mile, and now effective July 1st, it just went up to 62 cents a mile.
Is that in the home?
Well,
That's just the basic IRS reimbursement rate. That's.
we agreed to go with the IRS. I mean, that's what they're.
I know, but what I'm
reimbursing.
saying is if you want this to be successful, and you're looking for people to run through and it's a better program,
Well, that's.
go above it.
Look, that would be up to, we get $50,000 from RSVP. Our RSVP program costs us $92,000 a year. RSVP requires a 30% match, which is $15,000. We're already matching it with $42,000. We're almost 50-50. All the mileage comes out of the RSVP grant. If you want to increase the county match by increasing mileage,
Well, my question to you
That's-
is, would that not help increase the amount of volunteers?
I don't know.
Well, that might be a good thing, is to ask the volunteers why they're, when they say, I can't do it anymore, ask them why. And,
well, a lot of them are just tired
well,
and they're aging out. I mean, we have one gentleman, his name is Richard Muggio. I don't know if you know Mr. Muggio or not. He is a phenomenal volunteer. He does, on the average, 900 miles to 1,100 miles a month. He does our Palinville, Kiskatom routes almost every single day. He does the lead route, and he literally comes in and apologizes for taking 2 weeks off for vacation. But he has said the same thing. He's just getting tired. I mean, I think he's in his 70s. I mean, the thing is, we're losing volunteers because younger people don't want to volunteer. That's one of the main problems. The diehards, unfortunately, are dying.
most of the younger people actually have jobs and they can't do it. That's why the older
Right.
people are doing it.
Right, and that's why we're trying to get mailing the meals to shipping the meals to them. At least they'll get something. I will, if you come up with another idea, that's great, but this was just an alternative because, unfortunately, when we have COVID in the staff and a lot of people are being quarantined, which, we just had that happen again in Athens. We still can't we have down 5 staff members still in the nutrition department, but it's just a way of trying to get the meals to the seniors. Ed and I were talking about it, and Ed goes, you need to come and explain it. We're not canceling the home delivered meal route program. If we had volunteers, we wouldn't even be discussing this right now. I just don't want to tell a client that they can't get a meal because we don't have a volunteer to deliver it. We have staff that can cook it, but we have staff members, and Sean can attest to this because he approves it every month. We have staff members that are working 10 to 12 hours a day because we can't get staff in. Our Athens, who does most of the meals, they're working 3-4 hours overtime every single day. They're working through their lunch because we don't have the staff yet to fulfill all the meal requests. I tell NYSOFA that. NYSOFA's like, well, that's your problem. You have to get staff. And if we don't have the staff, we have, we're not allowed to tell a client no for a meal. So.
How many clients do you think you currently have that would be taking advantage of this program? How many clients are there?
About 300.
That would be getting the moms?
Oh, I'm sorry, 300 meals a week. So that would be about 60 to 65 clients. I'm sorry.
That would be doing the moms
Yes.
thing?
Yep. We have about 60 people on waiting lists right now that we can't get meals to because we can't extend the route.
This is mostly in the mountaintop.
Wow.
Mostly on the mountaintop, German triple.
How many,
Let's throw more money at it.
How many,
But it's not a matter of throwing more money at it. I mean, there are volunteers that don't even put in for the money.
Well, yeah, we do. We have 20 to 30% of our volunteers that don't even turn in mileage sheets that do because they want to do it. And a lot of them will turn their sheets in, I'm sorry. Did
no,
you
go right ahead, keep going.
I have volunteers that'll turn in sheets that just write donation because they donate their time, their mileage back, and we do a tax slip, we do a tax letter for them. We have volunteers that won't even, I don't know, but Chris Feaster, him and his wife do a route every single Friday for us. And they've been doing it for the 10 years that I've been here, and they have never turned a sheet in yet for mileage, ever. So, I mean, they just enjoy doing it. But yeah.
Now, what's the average length of the route and how many people are on there? Is it different? Like you have like 20 clients and within 50 miles? Is there a ratio that you have?
The river and valley areas, we have, it takes maybe a half an hour to 45 minutes to do a route with 60 people on it. Our Lexington route has 60 people on it, and it takes 2 hours and 20 minutes to go. Because it's very rural. I mean, it's a lot of turns, it's
It's over 100 miles. It's over 100 miles.
It's over 100 miles for the route. So it's, a lot of the people that do the Lexington route that enjoy doing it, they continue doing it, but it takes a long time to do it. Yes.
So if you implemented this, would you do it for everybody or would you still?
No.
Would you still, wait a minute, would you still cook for a number of people
Yes,
and deliver?
yes.
So why could we take the people that aren't capable of doing these meals, heating them up and lifting the box? Could we put them on the list as to us still delivering them the meals?
It would be yes, we would do it. So
All right, so you're gonna do analysis of.
we are. Well,
We're not warming the meal for them.
No,
No.
that's my question is, are they capable, are some capable of warming the meal?
Well, some will.
That's my
deliver
issue.
hot.
yeah,
Some will still.
So what I'm saying is, can we keep a number of these people, those people on delivery of the regular meals, right? And then send the Mama meals?
Mom's meals.
Mom's meals to the other people.
Yes, we have clients that are wheelchair bound.
All right, now I feel a little bit better.
Yeah, we have clients that have Alzheimer's that we would never, ever ask to take a meal and microwave it. We have people in wheelchairs that couldn't lift the box up off the floor and unpack it into the freezer.
All right,
Those clients are absolutely gonna get home delivered meals.
Okay.
By the volunteer.
thank you. Thank you. You answered my question, and that was my big concern.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick up.
I don't understand, Harry, a
little bit.
lot of these people are in the rural areas, not only in the mountaintop, but there might be people that they have a run that's 20, 30 people, but they gotta drive a lot of miles.
Right.
That's a lot of the problem too. It's not a matter of being able to lift it up and put it, the guy delivering it just can't drive 100 miles a day.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to give a little shout out to the.
He's a volunteer. Ed's a volunteer.
I drove it today. Called me up this morning. The regular driver came down with COVID. So, okay, you drop what you do and I was able to do that today. I can't always. But these are not new problems. This has been going on for a long time. COVID has made it worse, but it was before COVID as well. We're competing with every nonprofit in the country for volunteers. And, okay, 20% or so don't even put in for the mileage. That's altruism for sure. But they've been pulling their hair out for quite a while, trying to figure out how to get nutrition to everyone who can do it on their own. And like you said, you have some people who have Alzheimer's or in wheelchairs or for whatever reason have arthritis in their hands, for whatever reason can't do that. They're going to get a home delivered meal.
All right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
But this is an alternative to nothing,
Right,
nothing.
right.
And it's going to benefit, I think, probably the mountaintop before it'll benefit the valley town because the routes are longer. And again, what is the fine? When they get that test meal and it's not up to par. I mean,
You throw it out.
well, not that, but I mean, if the Department of Health finds out about it, what's the fine?
You're not getting the meals to the house.
No, I understand the question. I don't,
The fine is the client gets sick
yeah, I don't have the answer.
Well,
and could die.
well, yeah.
One of the reasons why we're having the training class on Thursday is because a lot of our volunteers still insist on leaving. With MDD, they cannot go into their homes yet. They're not allowed to enter a client's home and set the meal down on a TV tray or a counter or anything else because MDD restricts it. We've asked the clients to put a table or a chair or something right outside their door. What happens is the volunteer puts the meal on the chair, they back up, they call the client and says, your meal is here. They wait to make an eye contact with the client. They take the meal and they bring it in the house. The problem is we have a lot of volunteers who feel that they don't need to do that. They're just gonna leave the meal whether Mrs. Smith is home or not. And if she comes back 4 hours later and the meal is sitting there, she's gonna bring it in the house and assume to eat it. We don't know. I mean, we've had verbal discussions with a lot of our volunteers that said, we don't care what you tell us, we're gonna do it anyway, this client needs a meal. They just don't realize that this could be making the client sicker than better. I mean, the meals are out in the heat for 4 hours, or the route list specifically says, do not leave a meal. The client has requested going out with the daughter, they leave them anyway. And then at the end of the route, they're short 1 or 2 meals because they don't know why, and because they didn't read the route list. But, you know, the thing, we're trying to do our best to keep the fresh meals to the clients as much as possible. And Matt can attest, when COVID first started, him and his teachers pitched in and they were a huge help. They did a lot of the Catskill area. Catskill doesn't take long, half an hour, 40 minutes at most.
45 minutes to do
A route, 20 to 30 people. And not one of the teachers turned in a mileage sheet, ever. They did it out of gratis. They did it because they wanted to do it. They wanted to be a part of Greene County. And we have a lot of volunteers like that. But the problem is, we're not getting them as much. We're not getting the volunteers to step up to do the meals, and this is the problem. And I know I'm long-winded, but anyone else have any questions regarding long-winded? Can you imagine?
So if this goes through, and I'm sure it will, does that mean you're gonna put efforts into finding a solution, come back to us and say, this is what we have found to increase?
Yes, that's why we only did the contract for 5 months.
Okay, so you do have plans on proceeding forward to find answers?
We're gonna do everything possible to recruit as many volunteers as possible. We have people going on to the internet to start, volunteer searching, whatever we can do. We're trying our best to do it. It could fail. I mean, when we meet with the Mom's Meals, I think it's next week or the week after, I'm not really sure, but we're gonna meet with them and tell them where we want to deliver these meals or give them an idea. They might not even cover the area. That's one of the problems. So that's where we stand right now. We might be right back in a rock and a hard place.
If you are getting the volunteers back then?
Well, I would like to get all of our volunteers back, but unfortunately, a lot of them have aged out, moved out of the area.
The meals that he's talking about will not replace the volunteers that are here now. It's to supplement the people that are on the waiting list. They can't get them. Like I said, Lexington has always been an issue. But now Acre, for some reason, Acre has a waiting list. And this is the first time in a long time that we've had a waiting list. Greenville has always been a switch on, switch off group that sometimes they do need them. And Freehold is done by staff members right now. So it's always been one of our drivers that does the Freehold group. So, that's on top of the $15 a meal that it costs us because it's extra labor. Any other questions?
That's it.
All right, before I leave, I just wanted to let everybody know that the Greene County Department of Human Services is sponsoring a Caring for LGBTQ older adults. It's being presented by Lyndon Cutlitz, Cudlatz. It's going to be at the Columbia Greene Community College on Wednesday, September 21st from 12:30 to 3:30. Lunch will be provided. And because we got our hand slapped from NYSOFA, because during the month of June, we didn't do anything for Pride Week. So we have been reaching out, and the Unmet Needs Grant will be covering this. So I'll leave this up here with Tanya. So if anyone wants a copy of it, she can make it for you. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. We could all get some suggestions and, we could be part of the solution to this as well.
I think we should have Sean do a TikTok video.
Yeah.
Volunteer. I think we'd make headlines.
not going there. Chairman. Authorizing agreement between Greene County Department of Human Services, Aging and Pure Foods LLC, DBA Mom's Meals. I would like to move that. Can I have a second? Handle. Do I hear another one?
Oh.
Handle and Overblock. Is there any other second?
True.
Oh, wow. Lucas?
Okay. We have all that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
It's still like.
Okay, that's carried. Number 2, awarding meat, canned goods, and frozen supply bids, Greene County Department of Human Services. Handle, and I'll second that. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, that's carried. We have informational items here. In the back of this list is the early voting for the August special elections. We could give this to all of our constituents. Does anyone have anything else for county services this evening?
Motion to close.
I'll second that.
We are closed. Thank you all for your patience and service.
Based on how many people don't use it.
Absolutely. Chairman, excuse me, 180 voters.
Divide that by.
Find that out. Yeah.
How much is that per vote?
$33 a person.
For voting?
Yeah. 10 grand the budget, $33 a person to vote early. It's ridiculous.
Jim, let's not lose control here.
What's that?
No list here. Charlie, keep still, we'll be all right. That's right. Use your time. Use your time.
And call public works committee to meet to order at 6:37 PM. And we have a highway superintendent's report.
I will try to make this as quick as we possibly can. Going through the agenda, County Route 22 bridge is on schedule and currently in progress. County Route 83, we'll see a agenda item number 3. It's for eminent domain procedures. We've tried many times to solve the right-of-way sorts on County Route 83. Unfortunately, we could not come to a resolution and we have to proceed with eminent domain process. If we continue with that and we get that approved, the project could go in 2023. That also precedes paving of County Route 23. That's been held up due to this bridge project. County Route 40 and 61 are in design and expected for construction in 2024. Timberlake Road and Bloomer Road, Bridge New York projects. It looks like we're actually following up with the right-of-way and that should be resolved shortly. So nothing else holds this up. It will be in 2023. County 17 slope stabilization and road reconstruction. Evergreen Mountain Contractor has remobilized last month, June 20th. They are working in the stream right now and finishing up that project. County Route 2 culvert replacement in town of Lexington. Advanced Enterprise was awarded the contract and they should be starting about a month and a half. County Route 20 Cornwall Road Bridge, that has started. They were mobilized on June 28th and they're moving right along and on schedule. Black Clove Road Bridge is in design. Hopefully we can get that project awarded and constructed in 2023. Currently, the 2022 paving contracts are underway. We got a majority of all of the valley completed successfully. It looks good. They did a very good job. We're now concentrating on the mountaintop. Hopefully with pricing, it doesn't change anything, but as of right now, all roads that were on the list are gonna be paved.
I see fuel coming down a little bit in the last 4 or 5 days. Hopefully that's gonna reflect on somewhat of
Unfortunately,
a
it
savings.
doesn't, you don't get the quick reaction as for fuel surcharges, but there is, eventually it should get,
Catch up, okay.
hopefully you continue to asphalt, the diesel fuel prices will start continuing to go down. Just a note on here, on item number 6 in the agenda, tree trimming and removal. We are having a very difficult time completing a lot of our work because of our labor shortage. Our county tree crew has not been able to employ this month or last month because if we take him out of that crew, we will no longer have enough people available to complete the work in that barn. This is presenting a large problem for us. We're looking into contracting that tree work out. We have a lot of work in Halkett right now that requires tree removal. And I'm sure you're being requested and mentioned there's a lot of shared services that we do with towns and villages with tree removal that we haven't been able to get done. That is the majority of why we can. We just don't have the ability to do it now. So we are looking into doing an RFP, and that would be for both the county as well as villages and towns to also piggyback off that. There are several items on the agenda. I'll go through it for the slope stabilization on County Route 2. Evergreen Mountain Contracting is going to be working with GSI, who was awarded that slope stabilization. This is for emergency work. They should be mobilizing in early August. We have a contractor now working on the 3 failing expansion joints on County Route 12. That has been a major problem over the course of the last several winters. Every time our plow trucks hit it, it's blown those expansion joints apart. We desperately need to get those replaced and repaired. That's for highway. Solid waste. It looks like we will eventually be getting our scale house. We're slowly moving forward with that.
Will eventually be getting.
Yes, it's a lot better than what I had before, and I had no idea when we. But this, yes, we're moving. Alvarez has contacted us and asked for specific details of the site. So hopefully we'll get an actual delivery date relatively shortly. Coxsackie Transfer Station is moving along very well. Tomorrow we'll be starting the temporary operations at 370 Manson Street. It's all set up and ready to go. And that is simply for bagged garbage and limited recycling, similar to what the recycling is at the Coxsackie Station now. No C&D, no large metal recycling, but everything else, the bagged garbage for municipal garbage is going to be able to be disposed there. At the end of every day, that MSW, the bag garbage, will be removed from that site. So no MSW will be on that site overnight. So that should reduce drastically any chance of any critters, rodents, animals being on that site, creating a problem. Catskill Transfer Station Recycling Facility, Jerson mobilized last week, and they're starting to move along. They'll probably ramp up operations as soon as they get further along in Coxsackie. Compost pilot program is doing extremely well. Paul, how you were mentioning today, how much?
1,000 pounds in the last 4 days.
So, and that's one of the items on the agenda for this. It's accepting formal proposal for the new recycling center. That's where not only there's been an increase in steel prices for Catskill Recycling Building. That was from the time that we hired them to the time that they wanted to order this structure itself. It's roughly $20,000. That's for the steel increase. And the other item on the agenda is for the special inspections, the concrete, the compaction, the steel inspection for that facility. We did have a very successful HHW day on Saturday. We had about 211 cars. It's roughly half of what we typically get down here in the valley, but it seemed to go very well and very smoothly. We had everyone that did attend, we're very grateful that we had it up there. It wasn't as attended as well as we thought, but we certainly were prepared. So I think that rounds out most of the stuff. Any questions?
See some of the striping taking place too already.
Yes, we try to do, because we got done so early with paving in the valley, we try to do the striping in 2 stages. One, as soon as we got this paving done, and then we'll have another round of striping after we're 100% completed with paving.
Scott, I've had a few people ask me about the sidewalk at Jefferson Heights. What's the status on getting that?
We're gonna have to get a contractor in there to remove and replace that section.
So when is that going to be part of on our radar to do?
Is that county?
It's
the state road.
It's one of the few locations where we basically got forced into the ownership of the US.
So CHIPS money should take care of that, yeah?
I'm not sure Chip's.
No, we're not.
I mean, we can't do the work on the road, but if, I know prior municipal
It was
experience, if you did a road and it would impact or whatever on the sidewalk, you could include the cost of that sidewalk into the road and it would be covered under the CHIPS money. I mean, if it's on a state road, if they're saying no.
Even if we could, we've expended all of our CHIPS money this year. I have allocated 100% of our CHIPS, NEWR, paver potholes.
We need to get it repaired. I mean, it's a safety hazard and it looks terrible.
We're working with a couple of the concrete works guys to see what kind of price. It's roughly $9 a square foot. Not the
What
whole
about that
section,
black
but just
fence?
there's several.
Yeah, is there any way we can replace that black fence? I mean, because that doesn't look, well, it just doesn't look right. You're driving down that road, take a look at that black fence, you know, it's rusted at the bottom.
That's not rust.
The rail or the.
I believe that's
Yeah, the railing, right.
vegetative.
No, take a look at it closely. No, just,
The sidewalk definitely needs to be addressed. There's in that section where we have the barrels, it definitely was heaved and shifted.
yeah, it has. It's been like that for a couple months, so if you could get that on the radar soon, that'd be great.
I was hoping they would require it.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like they.
Here's hoping.
Scott, it's, when it comes to these buildings
Take care of it, right?
and your construction and you get told, well, steel went up. Do you check to see if steel went up?
Yes, I mean, they send us the reports that they've received. I mean, this is not going to the contractor, this is going to their manufacturer of the structure itself. So it's not like they're making the money.
I'm just trying to get, I mean, so these people aren't bound by the contract that they sign that say, hey, we can do it for this.
Well, we didn't.
They order it.
We didn't.
Yeah, this
sign the
is-
contract yet, like, that's the
Yeah,
problem.
this was prior to, this is from the time that we passed the resolution to the time that they ordered the building. They didn't want to order the building until they got confirmation that you wanted to build it, go with construction from that time to, it could have been a lot worse.
What time frame was that? A month?
Yeah, barely, yeah.
I don't think it was even a month.
I mean, we have prices that go up in a week. I mean, you can see just on the truck price, I mean, we added this Freightliner letter here, and I'll just read it. I mean, their Western Star and Freightliner has stopped giving prices this year. And They don't know if they're even gonna build trucks in 2023. They don't know when they're going to, so. I don't know, that's not a good sign.
26 and 51 look good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John Killjoy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to pile on, but we are all, this labor shortage is tough. We had 4 mechanics a year and a half ago. We have 0 heavy mechanics. So.
And we are in contract negotiations with the union.
Thank you, Scott.
We'll add that to the video.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you. Moving right into the proposed action items, number 1, authorizing advertisement for bid refuge removal from county facilities.
Handle,
Handle,
Hobart.
Hobart, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Awarding bid for propane.
Martinez.
handle,
Martinez and Handle, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing acquisition for estimates through eminent domain procedure law for County Road 83 Ski Bowl Road culvert and pedestrian bridge over Shanny Hollow Brook replacement project bin 3371720, Village of Hunter.
Hobart.
Hobart, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Accepting formal proposal for Evergreen Mountain Construction Incorporated slope stabilization, County Route 2, Town of Prattsville. I'll take that one.
Village.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Accepting formal proposal for the replacement of 3 failing expansion joint on County Route 12, South Street Bridge over the Batavia Kill, bin 33-02830, Town of Wyndham. I'll take that as well. Leg second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing agreement between the Highway Department and Greene County Soil and Water Conservation District.
Martinez.
handle,
Martinez and Handle, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing application for the New York State Climate Smart Community Grant. Hobart and Leg.
Jim, I just have a question on this. This environmental, Department of Environmental Conservation Law, Article 54. Does anybody know specifically what it states? Does it state that if we give credence by agreeing to this $82,000, 500, we're signed on to this whole Climate Resiliency Act and we're going to be required to do specific things?
I don't know that. I'd have to ask that.
I know in the town of Hunter, when we became a climate smart community, there was certain steps you had to take, the requirements you had to meet to become climate. And once you became climate smart, it opened up avenues to grant ways to
bribe.
to get money to.
This is to
get the compost.
Dangling carrot.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically on this one, but I do know things that we've looked into. There are grants available where it is not required that you be a certain level of a certified climate smart municipality.
It's not every one of them.
Don't trust them.
Yeah, first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed.
It's carried. Authorizing purchase of 1 new 4x2 international cabin chassis dry freight van body.
Martinez. Village.
Martinez and Village, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing the county highway and solid waste superintendent to advertise for bids for abrasives. Lennon.
handle,
Lennon and Handle, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Awarding bid for number two diesel fuel. Martinez, Lennon, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So
Jim,
carried.
just a quick,
Yep.
with these price increases for all these fuels that are going into county vehicles, do you guys put any direction to the people driving these things that, you know, when they get somewhere, they shut it off? Or things like that,
Idle time, yes.
on the idle time?
You can,
All ours are programmed for 5 minutes.
you can see that.
The trucks can be programmed for, they can't idle. But just as reference, in 2022 to 2023, diesel went up 5 cents. Gasoline went up from 2022 to 2023, a little over 10 cents.
That's just the delivery.
That's right.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's plus, that's plus the price of whatever.
Whatever, all the,
Right.
Thanks, Jim. Awarding bid for gasoline.
Lennon.
Lennon. I'll take that for a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Let me ask a question about that, before you go on. Suppose the gasoline comes down lower than that, what do we do then?
It's at rack price, right?
The only thing they're bidding on is the delivery. Delivery. This is not the commodity chart.
We pay a tank car price.
Yeah.
Whether that goes up or down,
Yeah,
we get
follow
that,
the market.
we get that price. This is on the delivery of it.
All right,
So this is just, so whatever that price is, you add the
delivery.
delivery. Which it really hasn't been, that's not a drastic change in what we've had.
That's a medium grade fuel, actually.
We had added up to that, we had a fuel treatment.
Charlie,
Yeah, I'm fine.
accept the formal proposal for construction contract, administration and special inspection services for new recycling center and Catskill transfer station.
Rivera?
Village.
Rivera and Village, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorizing expansion of services. Jerson Construction Group, Catskill Recycling Center Construction Project.
Rivera?
Handle.
Rivera and Handle, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Budget amendment, capital project number 113, Cooksaki Transfer Station.
Martinez, Hobart.
Martinez and Hobart, all in favor?
Aye.
Just want to get a little, Jim, a little clarification, so resolution 8022, increase it from 1.073 to 1.717.
Right.
And then now it needs another 410,000, bring the total to 22,128,000.
That's correct.
Now, this was happening before. This is not an add-on. Right? I mean, this isn't additional funds now we have to put in to this to get this thing complete.
This is the accounting adjustment for previous.
Right. Gotcha. Thank you.
Any opposed? So carried. Anything else to bring before public works?
We'll be the executive session for both contract personnel negotiation and personnel.
But before you do that though, Jim, like we were just talking about this compost machine, right? I did pull up this Article 54. There's a whole slew of red tape that goes with that. And that money, that's to be eligible for this grant for the compost machine, yes? So we can keep that going along with the pilot. But I see what Mike's saying. That's why I just pulled it up. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to, lower the emission of greenhouse gases. You can read into it, but like, do we fall underneath all those articles? Because they're saying if we acquire a piece of property, now we have to meet everything as far within their standards. We could never do away with the property as long as it's for the public benefit. So say we have a piece of property that we bought, I'll use where we're going to take the garbage now, and you want to sell that. Here, it's more or less telling you within the parameters or the permission of the commission of DPC.
I have to look look more into.
I'm just reading into it. I mean, I'm definitely gonna sit up tonight and read through this thing, because I don't know if this is, I mean, the same thing as a dangling carrot, like I'm saying. You know, if they're dangling the carrot to get you to bite on it, or fish and lure, however we don't wanna get hooked like some big dumb bass over $82,000. That's just my opinion. I'm putting it out there.
We'll certainly look into it. Even if we do get a grant until we cash the check, we don't apply with that.
It's just my opinion.
Yeah, I would say if we can get an answer on that, it's before next Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, even
Monday might make a difference.
Even if you pass it and it's until you cash the check, you're not, just because you're awarded a grant doesn't necessarily mean you have to apply with a grant.
So we haven't even applied for it. We needed this resolution to actually apply for it.
Yeah, I get it.
But once you put your John Hancock in there and accept the funds, now you made a deal with the devil.
I know towns that have not signed on because of that. I just don't know whether this project in particular falls underneath all of those auspices.
All right, I need a motion and a second to go into executive session.
Motion, second, whatever you need me to do.
I have Lennon